Welcome, everybody. Today, this is the Scoreline podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Man City Fulham, the preview, giving you some betting advice as well, telling you how we think the game's going to go, and talking some tactics, everything Man City Fulham. We're looking, at least in my opinion, in only one winner here, Man City. Man City are obviously on the big roll, top of the league. The points disparity between these two teams is like 42 points, and Fulham only have 26, so I think this game's only really going one way. But Gui, can you see any hope for this Fulham side in this game?
But Fulham's recent results, they won 1-0, lost 1-0, 0-0, 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, 0-0. They don't concede much. They're 18th though, so things aren't going great. But Fulham are trying to escape the relegation. They're on the same points as Brighton, who are 17th, and for them it's a big game, so they got nothing to lose. They beat Liverpool just 2 games ago, so
Yeah.
Fulham will definitely be giving it their all. They are in some sort of a late resurgence, and they're trying to escape relegations. That is a good enough reason to play your heart out. So
That's
they're not
fair.
going to hold back. Um, at the same time, City just ended their streak against Man United, and well,
Bros.
that sort of gives you some hunger because they woke up, losing a game, especially in a derby. That bound, I mean, it's bound to wake you up. It's bound to snap up and say, "Hey, that's pretty embarrassing. Let's not have that happen again." You know how much they care about winning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm
I
telling you
mean, that.
this. Every time City lose to someone they're not supposed to, whoever is next just gets piped. I'm telling
Mhm.
you, they get served the raw sausage, dude. So I know that like
Yeah,
here it looks like they're 1-0 to Liverpool. That's great. You're looking at the Tottenham one. They only lost 1-0. The Palace, the Fulham, like they actually don't look bad. They beat Everton 2-0 here, but they're being served the raw sausage today, dude. I fully believe it. I
I
mean,
agree.
what's the prediction here? It's they only predict 2-1 to City, which is I think kind of generous, but I think they're about to get
Well,
demolished. Something I think will be interesting. Do we know if City have Champions League soon?
they do. Yeah. Next week.
Yeah, so they have Fulham and then a Champions League game. So Pep Guardiola could potentially
We
make a
do.
lot of subs. So Fulham may have an edge on that side as well.
Hmm. Yeah. Still, though, City's going to have like 70% possession this game,
Oh,
at
easy.
least, easily. And they'll be looking for chances to break down this Fulham side. And while I do think Fulham is fairly well organized, sort of like Brighton, actually,
Yeah,
they're both teams that don't concede much. There's a reason they're 18th.
yeah.
Because while they don't concede, they find it very difficult to respond to goals,
Mm-hmm.
to actually get a goal. Their strikers, they have that penalty problem. Cavalier is not clinical. These midfielders are not clinical either. There's no way they score off a header. There's a slim chance, but I mean, Stones and Diaz, if they end up playing their partnership, it's been
It's
great,
too good, dude.
and it's too good. I don't see it. So yeah, I think there's no. You'd be crazy to say Fulham stand a real chance of winning this one. However, scoreline, that's where it can get spicy. I could see a 5
Yeah,
0 I could also just see a 1-0 scrape by City.
agreed. And I think what will be interesting is to see the lineup because sometimes Pep also can just decide to spice things up. You saw it against Leon in the Champions League last year where he played a five back and he'd never done it all season. So Pep is Pep. He can always fuck it up, but like you said, it's just. I think what will be more interesting is this section. What kind of spicy things can we lay down here, and how can we kind of do that? I think the odds. Obviously this is what we're going for. This Fulham result, what could happen, dude? It happened against Liverpool, but I don't think that any of these are worth betting on. I think either of these, you're kind of looking at losing pretty much all the whole time, and that's the odds there are too bad.
Yeah.
In terms of the power prices, I don't
We didn't
like.
really like any of these.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, Man City to win 4-1, 18 to 1. Decent shout, I suppose.
it's
I think it's
acceptable.
actually harder for Fulham to score one goal than for City. to end up scoring four.
I agree.
That's why I see the difficulty in that result. But if you feel confident in that one, if you think that City will pound them, then I think it's definitely something you consider. It's 18 to 1. There's a great odds.
I,
Everything else here is pretty bad.
that's my favorite,
Perhaps.
but we don't know if he'll start.
Yeah.
I think Phil Foden does have a good few shots on target, like per game, and the odds are really good. But we don't even know if he'll play, so I wouldn't even touch that with a stick. Although, like we said, we're going to bring you some spicy bets today. We were looking at the 500 to ones, as you often do when it's so one sided. Where was the one we were
Near the
considering?
top. Just below your
This
mouse.
one.
Right there.
You know what?
Yeah, yeah.
For 500 to 1, it nearly worked last week. I think
hmm
it nearly worked last week for a very similar
With
bet.
Fulham. Maybe Fulham's our golden pig.
The issue is this. We realized last. I think this was Fulham last week, and I think Fulham won the first. Our bet last week was Fulham won the first half. They had more corners in each half, but Liverpool had more cards. I don't see Fulham getting 4 cards. That's my issue, because I think although Manchester City players are very tricky, I don't think that they'll. I just think that's so hard to do. But because this is scoreline, we're putting €1 on it.
Doug, I think the corners part, the safest part out of this bet, right?
100%.
Three's not that much. Three plus in each half. I
Yeah.
can see it. City really put the pressure. Um, two plus cards. I don't know, dude. Like, I think this Fulham back four and their midfield are not that technically gifted. If they have to commit fouls, they will.
Yeah.
I hope the referee is someone who likes giving cards though, because a lot of those fouls will be sort of tactical. Um,
100%.
and usually there's not a real set like rule on whether you give a yellow for that or not, unless it's like a counterattack or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be cheap fouls if that makes sense. So I don't know if there will be cards. However, it is the smaller side, and refs do tend to favor the bigger side. So I can see it. Two plus goals in each half, 500 to 1.
You know
It's a
what?
fair shot. We're trying to get rich.
Yeah, exactly. I think this one I was looking at some of the other, big odds here. There's some here that I quite like. I think Man City to win to nil, I think is highly likely. Ilkay Gundogan to score, also he's been in red hot form, got player of the month this month, and 10 plus corners in total. I think I actually really like that. I think the only issue is the Gundogan to score, but for 12 to 1 it's not too bad. I think this one also really really decent. I think this one also really decent. So you got a lot of these 12 to 1 bets that are looking really nice. What are you thinking with the three of them? This one here, I think this one and then this one.
Um, I like the gun one the best. The
Mhm.
10 plus corners, I don't like the ones with corners that much
Yeah.
because it really depends on the game plan for City. I mean, they will usually try to work the ball into the area.
Yeah.
And that doesn't warrant a corner most of the time unless you're crossing. And I don't think they'll cross because Liverpool will have 10 men in the box. So 10 plus corners, it's hard to see. I think these are definitely decent bets,
Yeah.
but I'd probably look towards something like
What about this one?
just at the bottom of your screen where it says Man City first goal kick, Man City first free kick, Man City first corner, and Fulham first card.
The issue with
You know,
the issue I have with this is the first goal kick, because
I think it's down to the coin toss.
yeah,
If Fulham start with the ball,
exactly, exactly. If Fulham start with the ball, they could just blast it and it's a goal kick. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, word. No, they probably will look to do something spicy. A lot of like smaller teams and facing bigger sides, try to catch them off guard if they start the half by like passing it back, passing it to the wing, and trying a long ball to a runner
Yeah.
near the edge of the box. That's what you see a lot of the time from smaller sides who don't feel confident in building the play throughout 1 or 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you could definitely earn yourself a goal kick. So maybe depends on the coin toss, I think.
I think
Which is not a great bet to say.
yeah, it's
That is
not.
a shitty thing to say as
I'm
a
not.
betting man.
Yeah, it's up to the coin toss. I think I think I'm gonna go with the bet builder this game, like we said, because it's so one sided in my opinion. I think there's gonna be. You know what? I'm gonna go with under 2.5 goals because I don't think Man City will blast them because they've been so solid defensively and because of the reserves that they probably have
But
to
at the
make the.
same time, we're going for a 500 to 1 where City do blast them
But then I
because
think this is
we're trying to get rich or die
my
trying.
logic here is if City blast them, then hopefully this comes true, and if City don't blast them, then at least we get this.
Yeah, I can see it. In
Or
before it's actually 2-1 with 3-0, and we're just so sad.
yeah, we're just sad. So I think I think under 2.5. Do we have a player that we're particularly interested in getting a shot on target?
Um, if you open that tab again, I think Sergio Aguero is one to avoid. We don't know if he'll be
Yeah,
playing, though. This is a good game for him to sort of come back to form.
yeah.
So I could see it, but I mean,
The one
still one to
shots,
avoid.
the one shots on target are pretty hard to do. Well, pretty bad odds. So I think maybe the two shots on target, maybe where you're looking at, and maybe hoping that like a Riyad Mahrez or something comes through. But I don't like betting on players for City games because of Pep Guardiola's, notorious for changing his lineups often. I think the over or under is quite good. Let's go with. I'm
You
think.
know, I think a safe-ish bet is to bet on Riyad Mahrez. He's been in insane form recently. However, the Champions League game is a big factor. I think he'll want to save him just because of how he's been popping. Guardiola,
Yeah,
he's got like seven dudes that he can play in that midfield and from three,
I
and he
think
permanently rotates them based on form. So he'll definitely probably be saving Mahrez
I
for
think
the
Mahrez is a huge
Champions
shout,
League.
but like I agree, if he does start, my worry is that he gets subbed off.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I think the corners under 10.5 is a pretty if you're doing a bet builder, a little bit of advice, things that you at least are 100% certain of happening. So for example, this, you're never going to make a single bet on this because the odds are so bad, but if you can kind of build it up in the bet builder, it's not going to happen. I'm almost confident, almost 100% sure they're not going to be 11 corners in this game. It's very irregular for that to happen. But if we, for example, if there is under 2.5 goals, it makes our return quite nice.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that is about it. Next,
about it, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else even remotely interesting to put on.
maybe red card,
A red
but
card. Red card in the first half, red card in the second half. I think a red card seems quite risky now. You know
yeah,
what? I'm gonna
it's good
do
odds though. But yeah,
yeah. Team to have five or I'm gonna go team to have five or more shots on target. Oh my god! Wait, those are such bad odds. I was expecting way better. You're only just even for seven or more shots on target. Let's go with correct score then, because realistically, these odds are really poor.
you know, when Fulham played Chelsea, that's the last time they got a red card. This
Yeah.
is about 10 games ago. It went exactly as this game will most likely go. Chelsea had 70% possession, 21 shots. They won just 1-0 though. But they had all the shots, all the possession, and Fulham did have a red card in the first half. Those odds were not bad for a
See, the thing
red
is,
card in the
did
first
they
half.
have more shots and more possession because of the first half red card? That's kind of something you have to consider as well.
That's true. I'll check. Well, in the first half, they had 63% possession, five corners for Chelsea. So
Hmm.
I do expect them to play similarly to what Chelsea has been playing recently.
Yep.
Um, Chelsea lined up in the same way that City will probably be lining up tomorrow. I mean, the same like 4-3-3.
Fair.
So I mean, I could see like a sort of repeat of that game.
Do you know who I think? I think might be interesting to consider, considering we've spent a long time on this section, so we should probably wrap it up soon. But a shot on target. I want to look at John Stones's or Ruben Diaz's likelihood because they do often get those headed shots on target from something like a corner or something like that. Ruben Diaz at 11-4 isn't bad. John Stones at 7-2, not bad. Maybe we say Ruben Diaz or John Stones. Who do you think's more likely to get their shot on target?
Let me Johnstown's.
All right,
And the odds do kind of favor him.
there you go, and that turns our bet builder from I think 2-1 to 18-1. But yeah, we're gonna be putting one goal. Sorry, one goal, €1 on each of them. But yeah, thank you. That is our Man City Fulham preview, and we'll see you in a bit.
Thanks.